national forests and parks. So, Yellowstone and Grand Canyon are at the top.
Yellowstone Park, what's it like there? I've seen it on TV and, but I just am curious about your real life experience.
Animals galore. Yeah, out in the wild. Calling each other, mating, I guess.
Oh, okay. So what kind of animal was that?
What's that animal?
Was it a bird or?
Oh, no, large mammal.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All
Not
right.
a bison. But I can't remember.
So what are some of the kind of animals you saw generally? Do you remember?
Bison, in the big way. And the young, they were frolicking about.
Did you look through binoculars or did you see them from afar? Did you take any pictures?
All three.
Oh, wow. So were you afraid to come near any of the bison? I mean, they're so big with their horns and everything. I would be so scared.
Not as fearful as the grizzly bear. The mother and her cub. Yes.
Oh, so you saw that?
Yeah. We took pictures. Well, Gwen took pictures.
Oh, wow.
When the ranger said, when the mother comes over this wall, we are all moving on the other side of the wall. That's when I went to the car.
That's great. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Especially with wild animals. I'm terrified of them too. So I'm trying to think of wild animals I've seen. I went to Africa 2 years ago, and oh man, we were there for 2 weeks, and there we went snorkeling, and we saw turtles, like 7 feet long, and we also touched their shell, and their shell is so smooth, and they were just swimming all over the place. And when I went underwater, I saw an old boat that had sunk maybe 45 years ago, a sunken ship. So we just saw different places, and I also swam to an area of pariah fish, and they ate bread, not people. So we went on the boat, and the man, he had his life jacket on, and he gave me some bread. So I went underwater, and I dove, and I saw them. So I just broke off some of first I was looking for them, and then I broke off some of the bread, and they all came and started eating it. And I just watched them, and I was so fascinated by that. It was so good. And they did not eat me at all. Not at all. It was a different kind. There's 2 different kinds of piranhas.
Okay.
And there's some that eat bread and some that eat meat, but these ate the bread, and they ate that bread so fast. It was like 80 miles per hour. They were just going and and ate all that bread, and I loved it. It was so good. And then I also saw an animal, a lizard, and I went and saw a a salad Moses. It's a Virgin Island kind of. Oh, I went to a specific spot in the Virgin Islands, and I saw this certain animal that would just. I mean, they were huge, and this one of the guys there, he wanted to take pictures, and so there was a lizard over there, so he tried to take a picture, and I'm like, you're crazy, because that lizard could come and like try to grab something, but you know, he was confident and he trusted and he just took those pictures, and so I was actually pretty impressed by that. So and then there was another animal I saw. A goat. I saw a goat and dogs that were really skinny, and an ox and sheep, and just walking on their own, and they were looking for and birds that just walked around. I mean, it was just so different. It was such a different experience, and there were just people roaming about, and they all looked at me and thought I was crazy or something, because I guess because America versus Africa, it's a little bit different. It's actually really interesting. I'll tell you a short story about that. I had met a friend, and he knew about 2 or 3 languages in that area, and he also knew sign as well. And we went and there was a little African girl, I'd say she was like 8 or 9, and she walked up to us, and she spoke a different language, not English, and my friend, he translated it and interpreted it for me. And so she said that she kept calling me a white man, and I was like, I'm not a white man. I said, no, I'm a black man. And then she said, no, and that was their sign for a white man, that sign. And just tell her I'm not white. And so she said, because of my hair and stuff. So it was just a really different experience. And so when I was walking, I was really boggled by the fact that, you know, people just kept looking at me like I was from a different country. And so, I mean, I just went on my way, and there was just so many different cultures, and especially even the animals, it was such a different culture. I went to the southern part of Africa. I went to Ghana, that area by the water, and there was a forest, and there was a bridge, and they had ropes. They would make ropes, and so you would walk over those ropes, and you would have to try to hold on. That was the bridge that they had. And so we took pictures of that area. And we also were looking for different kinds of animals, and we didn't see any there, but yeah, I mean, couldn't find animals in that area. So we went back home here, and we went over to the zoo to see those animals, and I knew that those animals weren't happy, but in Africa, they're very free. And so I was just wondering about your experience with animals, and just kind of how, you know, them being free versus being caged and that type of thing. So, have you been to Brookfield Zoo before?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to San Diego. It's very different.
We didn't go to the zoo. Almost.
Oh, go to the zoo. I'm telling you, it's really different. The cages here, they're very cage, but there they have ropes and rocks, and everything's very realistic. I mean, they have elephants and alligators, and it's almost like their home. I mean, there's really no confined space for them.